There are many on the left and in the scientific community, so to speak, who are afraid of that discussion because, oh my goodness, you might mention the word, God forbid, God in the classroom, or creator. That there may be some things that are inexplainable by nature where there may be, where it's actually better explained by a creator. And of course, we can't have that discussion. It's very interesting that you have a situation where science will only allow things in the classroom that are consistent with a non-creator idea of how we got here, as if somehow or another that's scientific. Well, maybe the science points to the fact that maybe science doesn't explain all these things. And if it does point to that, then why don't we pursue that? But you can't, because it's not science. Well, but if science is pointing you there, then how do you say it's not science? It's worth a debate.
I'm just upset with this. People are immoral. They have no values anymore. We've got to go back to the basics. This is wrong.
Senator Santorum?
Well, I think she speaks for a very broad swath of the American public who sees this as morally repugnant, who sees this as science unchecked, just going out there and doing things because we can do them. I mean, I found it remarkable that the doctor that was on before us said that we limit certain studies to animal studies. Well, the principal reason we limit certain studies to animal studies is not because we have a moral objection to it. It's because we're afraid that we could that the research being done could actually harm humans, and so we want to test them on animals first. Not because science feels any moral compulsion. In fact, most scientists, unfortunately, those who certainly are advocating for this and many others, feel very little moral compulsion. It's a utilitarian, materialistic view of doing whatever they can do to pursue their desired goals. And I think someone has to step in and check that, and because someone has to speak for the people of America who pay their taxes and don't want to see those tax dollars used for morally objectionable things. And again, no one is talking about stopping them from doing this type of activity. All we're suggesting is that those like this woman here should not be forced to pay for it through the with federal dollars.
Oh, and we are back, coming to you live from New Hampshire on the campus of St. Anselm College, where CNN is getting ready for tomorrow night's GOP presidential debate. Hold on. All right, that's better. CNN released a fascinating poll ahead of the debate. We asked whether the government should be promoting traditional values. Now, here's the response. 46% said yes, but 50% said no. Why is that important? Because it's the first time the percentage in the yes column has fallen below 50% since CNN first started asking the question in 1993. That number should be very interesting to candidates like Rick Santorum, someone who is very decisive and very divisive on social issues. Here's what he had to say. When I caught up with him, why don't you take a listen?
Go to my announcement speech. I didn't talk about social issues. I talked about, the impact of Obamacare on jobs and the economy. I talked about the huge debt that we have and an obligation to deal with that. I talked about entitlement reform. Talked about the Ryan Plan. In all due respect, I think the media is fixated on trying to. This is how the media works. They try to pigeonhole candidates. They're this kind of here. They fit this niche. They fit that niche. Well, the interesting thing I think in my candidacy is that I fit all the niches. I am someone who's strong on social issues, but I'm strong on national security issues. There's nobody who has the experience or the levels of accomplishment that I have on national security. No one has ended federal entitlement. I did. I was the author of welfare reform. So we've got a lot to talk about, and we will.
Some people say it's a contradiction because you are for small government, right, for smaller government, but yet you want to change the Constitution when it comes to same-sex marriage. And that some people see that as government intervening on people's rights.
It's affirming what the laws of the states have been for over 200 years. It's simply, putting in law what has been in place in society for thousands of years, that this is what marriage is. There's an intrinsic value that having men and women come together in marriage and having children and raising those children in a stable family, that's good for society. That's something society wants to encourage. And there are some who I understand have a different view of that, don't think that it's important, think that that society will be just fine if that institution is no longer held to be different or privileged and rewarded. I just disagree with that, and I think the appropriate thing is to get in the public square. Let's debate it, let's argue it, and let's point out the pluses and minuses, and I'm doing that.